CSIS is working on Ukraine in a variety of ways, from our food and water security program to our humanitarian human rights initiative to Project on Prosperity and Development. We are analyzing and examining the war in Ukraine from a variety of perspectives. In order to complement these efforts, our team, in partnership with the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, took a number of delegations to Ukraine and the region to better understand how U.S. government assistance is being implemented. We're at the 3-year anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Over the last 3 years, Congress has appropriated $175 billion, $183 billion if you include forgivable loans, and that is 5 aid packages. And because Congress has appropriated so much money to Ukraine, it was important for CSIS to take staff and their bosses to the region to see how this money is being implemented. This was an opportunity to ask questions, to meet with people, and to see really what we're spending our money on.
One of the unintended benefits of these trips is that staff and or members from both sides of the aisle get to really spend this time together looking at the efforts, what the U.S. is doing in Ukraine, having honest conversations about what we should do, what we can do better, and how we can best support the country going forward. In Kyiv, we thought it was really important to highlight kind of the various aspects from the governmental perspective of where the U.S. has concentrated assistance. So we met with the Ministry of Defense, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, and the Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, and the Ministry of Energy. Through these meetings, we learned both kind of what's happening on the front lines, what things are needed to help sustain Ukraine in the fight, and where they are vis-a-vis Russia with defense technology and equipment. On the energy side, we learned the Russians have really targeted Ukraine's energy sector, both civilian and defense, to kind of kneecap the country and make it difficult not just for the military to continue fighting, but for the civilian population to continue to live and work in Ukraine.
CSIS really aimed to create a diverse agenda so delegations could hear a broad variety of perspectives, and one of these perspectives was civil society. And as part of the agenda, we really wanted delegations to be able to meet with local media groups. 2 of the groups we met with in Kharkiv were Gwara Media and Nakupilo Radio, report on the Russian war crimes being committed to counter disinformation, broadcast hourly news updates with a specific focus on missile strikes.
Also in Lviv, we stopped at Superhuman Center, which is doing really amazing and innovative work to help both veterans that were wounded on the front lines as well as civilians who have lost limbs with prostheses and recovery. Teaching them how to reintegrate into society, how to do normal functions like continue to cook, to take care of their families, to take care of themselves, even though they have what would normally be kind of a life-altering injury, really how to continue their lives, not just as usual, but even better than usual. We visited the Saltivka district, which is one of the most heavily damaged and continues to be bombed. Actually, where we toured was bombed the same evening that we were there. And in spite of all this, Ukraine continues to be extraordinarily resilient. One of the big takeaways is one, kind of what's at stake for Ukraine, what's at stake for democracy in the Western world, seeing firsthand the brutality of the war crimes committed by the Russians. It's different than reading about it. Actually seeing and walking up to the memorial at Bucha, reading the names, really leaves an impact on people. And then, in spite of that, the resilience of Ukraine, the determination of the people there to continue to fight and defend their democracy is very powerful. And to be able to see firsthand where the dollars are going and the cause that this is supporting and what's at stake if Ukraine loses.
CSIS will continue to find high-impact ways to engage congressional members and their staff on important discussions about the war in Ukraine.
As you can see, this building is completely residential. There is no military objects, no training areas. It's just a normal old town area, and there is no explanation why they hit exactly here.